Just so you know, since you ask every week, I did get PBR this week.
Oh, okay, nice.
I got a
I'm
whole case right here.
natural light, and I think I have Miller light. So
Oh, I got me a Victory Sour Monkey uh, triple sour beer.
ooh,
Ooh,
nice.
all right. So, I guess we're good to go.
We
Good to
are we
go.
we are live right now officially.
Fuck yes. What's up, everyone?
Ah,
Welcome to the fourth episode of Manny and Kai presents. Is that what we're calling this now? Is that the
Yes,
official title?
and then we have Nicrowassassin, I think.
Yeah,
Uh,
Nicrowassassin.
okay, and
Peaches. Yes, it's Nicrowassassin.
okay,
And today, for this week's topic, we're going to talk about a topic that's sort of related to all three of our previous episodes. So if you have not seen those, I highly recommend it. You don't have to see them to understand this one per se, but to fully understand, because we will probably make references or repeat ourselves and things like
right.
that. But this particular topic deserves a little bit more of a deep dive, which is the fundamental differences between our online and our offline selves. And our guest here has the unfortunate distinction of having met me in person. So kind of have the best of both worlds there. And so, like, there are certain topics and discussions that we may talk about, like imposter syndrome and parasocial relationships. They do kind of factor into it to a degree.
They do.
But
There is a little bit of a link, a relation there, sure.
but this all came about maybe about 6 or 7 weeks ago now. I wrote what was intended to be a comedy bit, but the more I wrote it, the more I sat down and was like trying to focus my thoughts. It really did just turn into it. The comedy was gone. It just turned into a philosophical deep dive and
Well,
like the different layers
sometime.
between that, and it
Oh,
really got complicated. Sorry.
no, you're good. Sorry. I was the only one to say. Sometimes in philosophy, you can find pure comedy genius.
Oh
In
yeah, I mean
in
George Carlin is
philosophy,
a
you said?
big.
Yeah, philosophy.
Oh,
Sorry.
okay, yeah.
Yeah, George Carlin, I feel like it was a great bridge between comedy and philosophy,
Yes.
especially his later work.
Yeah, I
So
think
yeah,
a lot of
he
people find
absolutely
him to
is.
be a little bit offensive in some areas, but I think you have to kind of divorce the maybe politics from it, I suppose, and just kind of take it for what it is, you know.
Oh, it depends on your point of view. Either way,
True.
that's all a matter of personal taste.
Hmm.
One moment.
And what you're willing to laugh at.
Exactly. I mean, comedy is subjective, no matter who you are, what you're into.
True.
But we're getting ahead of the topic here. But basically, it boiled down to this. The more I thought about it, the more I tried to work this out. It basically, your online self is who you project yourself to be. I say this as a glowing picture of myself on the stream right now, a digital avatar. You just happen to provide input to this digital avatar through a computer, a cell phone, tablet, whatever you're using. But it's not really you. It's not really me. No, it's a curated version of you. Your real you is your offline self, your true form. You're full of contradictions and quirks and insecurities, and perhaps most importantly, personality.
Okay,
You're,
so I have to interject because,
please do.
okay, so there is a difference, but there are also at times there isn't a difference, really. So this is a study. I'm just going to very quickly tell you about what it is. There's extroversion and introversion, introverted and extroverted. I'm sure you know the differences
Oh, of
between the
course.
two. Okay, so with extroverted people, the findings show that they're very similar to their online personality, whereas an introverted person is much different because they want to project a
Confidence.
they want to gain affirmation, it says. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it's kind
Yeah.
of like in group versus out group. You want to be part of that in group. This follows under Maslow's hierarchy of needs. But it says, so results are expected to demonstrate that extroverted and open people form online personalities that are true to real life identities, whereas introverted and neurotic people curate ideal online personalities to counteract their true identities. So that's
Well,
interesting.
that pretty much, yeah. Okay, so my point of view, because I am very much, as I've said in the past, very much an introvert. So mine definitely does come from that point of view. So that's interesting you say that. I hadn't considered that,
Well,
that
there's
it could be
also the
different.
other thing that you can add to this is that there's not really much of a difference between the online self and the portrayals that you do with different groups within your physical groups that you interact with. You don't act the same with your parents as you would, let's just say, your best friend
Right.
or
Oh,
your
right, yeah.
girlfriend. So there is a thing there to say that your online personality can be different from your real life person, but your real life personality is just as different as your online personality.
So,
And
yeah,
I
go ahead.
find it interesting that the concept of these so like online warriors or online people who are so vocal online, but for the most part, you don't hear from them physically. It's just all this online chatter. And I think what
Hmm.
makes it stand out so much more is that we're so much more aware of the online world than we are the physical world now.
So, what if
I
somebody
believe you're
knows
right.
you really well? Do you think that
Yeah.
you would, and you were speaking with your friends how you normally act differently? Would you still act that same way if you, like if you, let's say a relative stopped into your Twitch chat or whatever? Would you still throw on that personality or would you feel embarrassed? You know what I mean? Because your family would know that you're
Ah,
not like that. You know what I mean?
Exactly. And
yeah.
there comes in the complication with the social interactions is that we can't know at any point who's going to see anything that we post, right? So why would we have something that we show to our physical interactions, something that we already do onto the digital world? So instead we create something new entirely to be our online persona, but it's formed in the same way as we do our physical interaction.
It's based on it, right? Really.
Yeah.
Okay,
The
so
the
yeah, go ahead.
the, the
I think that you
digital
have a good elaboration, or I want to hear a little bit more about it. And then,
Yeah. Yeah, me
Manic,
too.
you touch on some points, and then I'll touch on mine as well.
the digital dichotomy of groups that we've created is nothing more than the extension of the physical dichotomies that our interactions have already created. It's
Well
just
said.
added with an extra layer of hyperbole and exaggeration because on the internet you can be anything you want to be. So why not be the best? Why not be the way that you want to be? Because the digital scape is essentially the modern day dreamland that everyone gets to participate in.
It is damaging, I would say, to the self, in a way.
Oh yes.
You know, I will add that, but there's a lot of things here that I'll touch on. But go ahead and continue. Or Manic, do you want to throw a point in there? I know you
I
have.
actually do.
Okay.
So, to contrast that, why don't we talk about keyboard warriors?
All
Now,
right.
Kai, you and I, we've encountered these before, I'm sure, in the past. Trolls in the chat,
Sure.
or toxic people in comment sections. We see this all the time. Edge lords. Just because generally, with the with screen names and whatnot, you get this sort of sense of anonymity.
Mm-hmm.
And so these people, just because they can, feel the need to talk mad shit, just because they can get away with it without any real consequence. Now, these pricks, they certainly don't act this way offline, unless they really are just miserable and
Yeah, I
around
mean they
picking fights with
could.
people every day. I mean, I'm not saying they don't exist. They do exist, but they
Right.
are few and far between. So you get
Well,
these people who may act sort of, mild mannered in person, but as soon as you get them behind a keyboard or have some kind of opinion on something that may not agree with whatever it is they're watching, oh well, fucking cancel culture.
Right. I
Not
think a
that's a
lot of that is
whole totally
insecurity.
different thing, but of course,
And I do
You know,
have something to say about that in particular as well. It's
I'm gonna
really
grab a
interesting.
beer, but go
Go
ahead
right ahead.
go ahead and continue, guys.
Okay, so this whole social warrior hidden behind a keyboard, just trolling to be a troll, to aggravate just to aggravate, that's
yeah,
nothing new either.
no,
Back when the printing press first got started and it actually started becoming where people could start having printed word at their fingertips and a more readily available and everybody could read, what do you think those political columns were with all those cartoons? That was anonymous shit posting in the early days. That was
right.
trolls being trolls. That's humanity being humanity.
You are absolutely right. Yeah, this is
When
nothing new. It's just
when
now.
consequence and space separate each other from what we do, we just think we can get away with anything. And the online is just the ultimate form of that because there is no way to enforce consequences on a global scale that which the internet has become.
And that's exactly the point I was about to say is that this is exactly like that. It's just like the old days with, opinion pieces and political columns and things like that. Comics. No, now it's just anyone, anywhere in the world, you know.
And just grab attention by just edging a little bit further than just about anybody else.
And you
And
have
it's
these people like, sorry to interrupt, but like
oh,
you
you're
also have
good.
people like, so-called shock jocks who do this specifically to garner outrage,
Yeah,
to get that, Howard
because they
Stern to name one. Of course,
because
he's radio.
it's it's the shock rock thing all over again. It's
Of
war.
course.
It's something so obscene to stand out that you have to keep being that obscene to keep getting that standout moment.
Do you actually think those people are like that in real life, though?
No,
I'm pretty
I
sure
think
that
that
I'm pretty sure they're pretty well mannered people.
no,
You
not
know,
necessarily. I think that most of them are well balanced and they're treating their online trolling as a way to vent their frustrations of the day in a way that makes sense to them, that they think they're not hurting anyone. My issue with the idea is there obviously is something wrong with humanity as a whole that we still like to have the crab mentality of dragging everyone down just so that we could feel good about our own self.
that's one of the topics that I actually really want to do a full blown episode on,
The
which
crab
is
mentality.
Self-esteem
yeah,
issues.
well, not just that, but also the just basic things like jealousy.
Mm,
Just something as simple as that, feeling inferior or superior in some cases. You
right.
All
know,
that comes
when
down to
we're
our chaotic
all,
brains.
yeah, no, like it all boils down to our need to feel important, I think,
The
deep
in-group
down.
versus the out-group. This is part of Maslow's hierarchy,
There you go.
and that's one of the basic order needs after. I mean, the lowest level is like necessities, shelter, food, you know. And then you move
I
up the
mean, don't we all?
hierarchy and you get into social
Needs of
relationships.
the socials
Sure.
and need of the community and all that sort of stuff. Yeah.
But it's
At the end
also
of
a
the day, don't we
primitive
all? Oh,
survival
sorry.
thing. So, yeah,
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, don't we all just want to be accepted for who we are?
I believe
It
so.
depends on how much value you put on other people's opinions.
Mhm.
Sure. Some people's opinions don't matter at all to me. I will be real with that. Some people straight up, I don't care what they think. But others, they absolutely do matter.
Yep.
And that's sort of where that the sort of the projection part comes in, right? Like, you act differently towards people whose opinion matters
Well, it's
as
validation.
opposed to somebody.
It's validation for
Yeah.
ourselves. It makes us believe that what we believe and perceive is right or is accepted.
But how much of that is pushed onto us
Well,
compared to how
that's a
much we
whole
come with
other
it?
topic with environmental conditioning. We're conditioned
Yeah.
by so many things in our life, media in particular. We are
I would even
literally
say social
told
media.
how, yeah, we are influenced how to think very largely. So, I mean, think
Is that
about a
why they're called
newborn baby. What
influencers?
does a newborn baby think? You know, or even a young child. It's very they're it's just living. It's just being. But we become older. We're programmed by these institutions, by the media. We choose sides. You know.
Yeah. Wow, this turned out into a much more complicated topic than I thought it was going to.
Well, and it is a very complicated
Yeah,
topic.
it really is. I really should have looked this up. I
Yeah.
really
Especially if
should
you
have
want to
done
start
my
adding
research.
religion aspects to the social dynamics.
Yeah, religion
Yeah,
definitely does play a part,
absolutely.
indeed.
Especially,
And
when
religion
you're
and the
young.
internet hates one another.
Mm, I
Well,
would say maybe so, but then you've got those groups highly religious they perpetuate that, there's certain
right.
ideals and whatnot. So
And that's the
it's
beautiful
good
thing
to
about,
approach it from a neutral, leave religion out of it. Politics is another thing, but then again, at the
yeah.
same time, they do have some credence. They do influence. So
I mean, to a certain degree, religion and politics were one and the same. And it's
I
not
agree
until
with that.
recently that we actually started to say, no, let's separate the two from one another and let's see where that goes. And I don't like living in the fall of Rome with tacos, but we're living in the fall of Rome but with tacos.
That's one way to put it.
Well, I look at religion as a form of control. In my opinion,
Sure.
all of religion is man-made. Uh,
Yeah.
it really is, and uh,
Yes, but who's to say that's not how we're meant to be?
well, I think that I don't know. I mean,
Well, if you want to ask my 20-cent theory about this, I think it pretty much boils down to society was built on the idea of rules. And what is religion at the end of the day than a way to instill rules onto a society?
well,
Yes.
They might have very different messages or very different tales and anecdotes and ways of teaching that. The message may be different, but the point is always the same, to guide somebody on to whatever helps society.
It's to
well,
guide
it's
the
a
In a
form of
way.
individual
control
to
at the end
better
of the day.
Yeah,
society.
it's a form of control. Yeah.
A majority versus minority.
Now, I mean,
Yes,
I
but it's
guess,
also to help. It's also a faster way to help teach your masses how
yes.
to form the general structures of what your society is meaning to be. It's not necessarily to control them in a way to where, oh, I'm the evil genius and they shall do all of my bidding because they are my minions, but it's more in the way of how to shape the general consensus because it's meant to be for the individual to bring their faith to the society and help change the society. But we have turned the faith into this almost Eldritchian figurehead where if religion is brought up or religion is now the controlling factor, it doesn't necessarily matter who or what religion is, but religion itself is being viewed as this negative connotation.
Okay.
That is a lot to unpack.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, I
Um,
know.
not well. Let's not hang on religion too much here because
Yeah,
that's really getting into a totally
different topic
different can
altogether.
of words. Yeah,
We will
but I
touch on this
absolutely
though
see what you.
eventually. I
Oh,
think.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you bring up very valid points though, and I'm with Kai here. It is really a part of trying to control you. I think it's more. I think the problem really comes in is that there are way too many viewpoints, way too many different ways of looking at things, different societies, different countries, different things. And like for America specifically, we have so many goddamn different ways of looking at things and so many different groups that coming together under one roof that it's really difficult to find a cohesion there, to find a common ground in some cases. So that's where we got all these different, squabblings and things like that. But also in the online world specifically, I've noticed really within the last 15, 20 years, really since social media has taken off, that we've actually lost track of how to engage in discourse with somebody who thinks and feels differently than you. You kind of lose that. And so that's where flame wars happen. That's where, it just, your emotions take over and you just kind of just, oh, well, not to bring it back to cancel culture specifically, but that's a driving factor to it, I feel.
Well,
Yes,
there's a
if any of that
huge
makes sense.
societal mindset there as well. I mean, you look like on, cancel culture. I mean, somebody has a very strong comment, it gets tons of votes, and then you look through the comments and it's all about that. I mean, it spreads like wildfire. People just get behind it. Again, this goes back to validation of a certain directive, a certain belief that must be proliferated, that individuals feel safe with. That's really what it is. They feel safe with it, and it makes them feel content.
Well, another thing though is because we're now hiding behind the screens for all this social interaction with no actual way to connect with the other person that we're trying to have a discussion with, there's automatically going to be an emotional disconnect because we as humans were made to be socially interactive creatures, and the way that we were made, or the way that we developed, is physical interactions, one on, with your family or with your group or with your tribe. And now that we don't no longer have to physically interact, we're now seeing this repercussion of, well, reality is no longer truly reality. It's what we're making it out to be. And because of all we're seeing is anger, violence, discord, and arguments with no actual discussion, just emotions and words, but no actual thought being put behind it, because people don't want to think anymore.
That's a very good point,
completely
and
agree.
I do as well. That again, there's themes, there's agendas that are put out. Whether people, it's not conspiracy, part of it is, but there really are themes. There are agendas put out. It's political to a degree, but it's also sociological, very much so.
To bring it back to our topic last week, which was parasocial relationships, to bring it back to that, because of that clear disconnect, that social disconnect, like we said, looking at our chat rooms, it really is just words on a screen. We oftentimes do forget there is, well, maybe not always with the rise of bots and shit like that, AI, but it really is, boils down to it's another person.
Yeah.
One other person trying to speak to you and trying to, but it's not really a conversation, is it? Even this, not really a conversation. I mean, we are speaking to each other. Our voices are being heard and picked up and broadcasted. But we're not
compare
in
it
the
to
same
a
room.
phone call. A phone call
We're
with
not even
your
in
family.
the same state.
Right.
Well, two of us
Right.
are.
Oh, well, true.
Okay.
But it really, there's a lot there that, especially in the pandemic times with the rise of Zoom, or even a few years before with Skype and FaceTime and, Facebook Messenger and things like that, video chatting, Discord as a whole, things like that. It just perpetuates that just a little bit more. But the pandemic time, I really do feel contributed a lot more to the societal degradation, so to speak, of forgetting how we can just forgetting how to interact with each other. There was a whole year, 2 years where, by and large,
You
I didn't
couldn't
really.
interact with anybody.
Yeah, I couldn't really go out and do anything.
And just
Everything
think
that was
about
fun
what
to
it
do was
did
closed.
to the kids who are in elementary school,
Oh
either
gosh.
getting ready to go into it, getting ready to leave it, getting ready to just, start their second or middle years in those schools.
I
And
really. Oh,
and we
sorry,
just
sorry.
gave them full access to the internet and told them you can't go outside, you can't go do out the things with your friends, and we just shoved them all on the internet. And now all of a sudden, we're trying to drag them off the internet now and try to reinstate them into society.
Yeah.
But if you hadn't
That,
noticed, people have forgotten how to actually interact with one another. People
yeah.
have gotten to their heads that because they're behind a screen, they can say whatever they want. And it's not because they want, well, it is because they want validation, but it's also because, A, they're lonely. They want people to see them. So they're going to stay and do stuff that's going to shock or do something to get people to see them. And it's
So
only going to get worse.
this is an excerpt from this article here. It says, as the internet gained prominence in our lives, we gave up anonymity and also the desire to mask our real identity online. Indeed, online activities are no longer separable from our real lives, but an integral part of it. So it's kind of an extension. It's our digital image, our digital mask, if you will. So
Sure.
there
It's going to
are.
be.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, sorry. It's just going to be really interesting, at least to me, in about 10 to 15 years' time. Those children who are in elementary school and had to deal with, you know, homeschooling during, pandemic times.
Especially those that were not. I mean, new to it, but new to internet only chat rooms, education.
Yeah. And my brother, he's actually a teacher in an elementary school, and you should hear some of the stuff. Like when they came back from COVID, a lot of these kids, they just did not have the social skills necessary for a child that young that you think they would need to have at that point. And what's another thing that's helping that is people just don't want to be around people anymore. We don't have safe spaces to go out and just be around people. Yeah, we have Walmarts and Food Lions and other shopping stuff like that, but the idea of the mall or the social space to just go and be in a crowd, and it's gone. And if it's not gone for you, you're rich or you have a lot of disposable income,
Yeah.
because those of us who don't have that money to go to the really expensive places to just spend time and hang out and spend god awful amounts of money don't have the money or the time because we're having to work for it.
Right.
It almost does sound like it's a luxury to have a social experiment now in today's day and age.
Have a
It almost
physical
is.
social life? I think so, yes.
Yeah. I mean, anything that's worthwhile to do, any kind of fun activity costs increasing amounts of money,
True.
which, that,
It's almost become a commodity, really. You know.
yes, yes. And it's
Physical activity is becoming so much more of the, well, I don't have to work for my bread, so I can just do whatever I want.
whatever happened to just going out in the woods and playing with sticks? What happened to those days?
Or riding your bikes up and down the
I was
street
just gonna
playing
say that.
tag,
Yeah.
or playing street hockey, or
Yeah.
playing basketball with the neighborhood group of friends.
Man, kids today will
Even though
never know
two of
how
the
cool
kids
that
didn't
was.
like each other.
Well,
Yeah,
Like, do you
exactly.
remember how many schoolyard beefs we settled just by meeting in the local neighborhood playground.
Oh my gosh, you were so right.
I think it's a lot of technology has brought us closer together than ever, but dichotomously at the same time, further apart
It's
than ever.
separated us. Yeah.
I agree.
You
Yeah.
know,
And it's the thing to say that as we gain in knowledge and we gain in technology, the physicality of it all is becoming more and more benign and unnecessary. Things are
You know
still going
what?
to have its chaotic hiccups, but we're not quite there to full automation, but it's getting close. AI is
I could put it another way. What we lose, like what we gain in intelligence, we lose in wisdom.
it's a good
And
way to put
wisdom
it.
really is just experience. That experience of going out and living your life. Most of these days, we're not really living. We're on our phones. We're tethered to our phones, our computers, our laptops, our tablets, our video game consoles. We're not really living. We're just going. We're just surviving another day,
we're changing
working
from one thing to another.
and almost at an alarming rate because
Yeah.
it does change and
Very
evolve
accelerated.
incredibly often.
Because here's the thing, what started us out as a society was our spirituality and our mutual need for food and shelter and social connection. Our
Absolutely.
spirituality is what was driving our societies. Then it became about wisdom and our experiences and philosophy, but we couldn't take it too far because, we were dumb. And then a miracle out of nowhere came caffeine. And it spread like wildfire. No. Caffeine, when it was widespread, it jumpstart human intelligence because it gave our brains such an active kick and boost because we were so drugged out on alcohol for so long. Because for the longest time, our drink of choice for everyone was alcohol, beer,
Hey, it still is
wine,
for me. I don't know
meat.
about you.
There's a reason why beer is one of the oldest drinks known to mankind.
Well, a
It's
lot
one
of it
our
was
earliest
because of
cultural development.
unclean water. That's in many cultures, but
Yeah, but
yeah, go ahead.
we've changed from this spirituality to this wisdom slash experience slash folk tale type. Well, we have these oral traditions, we're bringing them into writing, we're bringing all this together. And then introduction of caffeine, it sped everyone up. It sped everything up. And we was on this stimulant for so long and we pushed ourselves for as far as I think we can. And I think collectively humanity is now just on the downslide because they're needing a rest. I think that's part of the reason why stuff like pot and other downers and stuff like that is becoming so popular is because collectively we don't see it. Like individually we don't see it, but collectively I think our society is now saying, okay, we've had our industrial and we had our speed. Now let's try to take things down slower. And I think people's intelligence are also going down because of that. It's
Well,
weird.
You know what? I would. Oh,
yeah.
go ahead.
So many different points I want to touch on. It's very difficult to choose one here. To segue into
Same.
something. But Manic, go ahead.
Well, that would say, it's funny you mentioned caffeine and what it's done to jumpstart society, especially recently. I think it's also necessary because we've become so industrial and so, what's the word I'm looking for here? It's on the tip of my tongue. So, accustomed, I guess, to that grind, the work life, the corporate
culture.
America wants, they want to own you. They want workers. They don't want, well-informed people. They want people. And so they push you further and further and further and further. Hence the need for that caffeine. hence the need for all that
Yeah.
speed and all those other things,
And by
so
the
that
way,
you can keep pumping out product.
caffeine doesn't actually give you energy. It just makes you not tired. It offsets
True.
the hormone that makes you tired. I think it's melatonin, I
Melatonin?
believe. Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
caffeine also did help accelerate the minds of mankind. It actually did bring us to a much more faster thinking level. Because honestly, if we go back, we can only
What
go
about
back so
Greece
far.
and the great philosophers of Greece?
And see, there's the thing. We can't say how much, because we don't know exactly the difference between the what's the word for before the Hellenistic period?
Oh,
Okay,
I don't know.
so when you talk about ancient Greece, you're gonna have to really be careful because there's two specific eras, and the myths and philosophers get divided in that era, and I'm not like 100% sure where that divide is.
Right.
You have the pre-era of the Hellenic period, and I don't. It's like
Yeah.
Macedonian or something to that effect.
There's different
But this,
ages of philosophical thought, schools,
yes,
if you will.
yeah, but when they're in those different ages, you also have to look at what were the different trading routes at the time, who were the powers at the time, what was being traded to who at the time.
Right.
Um,
So it's
we don't know
sects,
exactly.
SECT, sects of control. It's different domains of control that all want to push, again, an agenda. They have a certain mindset, and us as the people get behind these different mindsets. We relate to them, and we further drive these, and this also relates to how we present ourselves. We get behind certain beliefs, certain ideals, ideologies.
Hmm.
Yeah. And so when we got from wisdom and we started doing the whole advancing mankind, industrial evolution, and gaining all the intelligence, we've lost the wisdom. Now we have a lot of intelligence, but nothing to really do with it because we don't really know how
So
to
there's a
do it.
trade-off here.
Yeah. We and it's weird because the bigger you get in society, the more the problems seem to also at the same time be exposed but also get hidden because
Mm,
what's problematic on the grander scale might not necessarily mean it's a problem on the macro scale or micro scale, if that makes
right.
sense.
No, I get that. Yeah.
But there's also problems that are so that all the small problems that we do have end up adding up and becoming so big that it ends up balancing itself out. It's weird. It's so chaotic and strange, but that's what humans are. We are chaos incarnate.
That is
Chaos and order,
the
yes.
best way to look at it. Yes.
Because chaos and order cannot exist without the other.
True.
Yeah.
Because because one defines the other. If you take away the
Right.
definition of the other, the original doesn't matter.
Well, you can't have black without white because if you didn't have either or, you wouldn't know what to compare it to. So,
Or
Exactly.
yin and yang. War and peace. Yeah.
I think
No.
one of the best modern ways to explain that would be the Dark Souls opening cinematic from Dark Souls 1,
okay.
where they're talking about the fire, the discovery of the Age of Fire, how it brought disparity between cold and dark.
Yes.
Or it's so cool, but so complicated.
I unfortunately haven't played Dark Souls. I think Bloodborne is another. Are they made by the same developer, I think? Or.
I think so.
Okay, so yes, Bloodborne is made by the same people that did Dark Souls.
Oh, okay.
But Bloodborne has the same director from the first Dark Souls, not the second.
Ah.
Okay. I haven't
Yeah,
played
Elden
Dark
Ring is
Souls
what Dark
in
Souls 2
so many
should have been.
years. I
Haven't
think after
played
we
either.
wrap this, I'm going to go and watch that opening cinematic.
It's a great opening cinematic.
I can actually pull it up. Let me take my screen off, so I will look for it, and I'll pull it up real quick. I can do that. Let's see.
And I want to say something because you said something about masks earlier. And when Manic and I first started talking about this subject,
Is it Dark Souls or
it's
Bloodborne?
Dark Souls.
Okay.
Dark
Dark
Souls
Souls,
1
the
opening
first one.
cinematographic. That's the one that you're wanting.
Opening. There we go. Okay. Nick, go ahead, and then I'll grab a beer, and then I'll play the cinematic.
And sorry, if you two could excuse me for about 2 minutes, real quick. I need to step away real quick.
Okay. All right.
I'll
Go
be
right on
back.
ahead.
Okay. PlayStation 2 game, it looks like. All right.
Was Dark Souls 1 on the PlayStation? No, Dark Souls 1 wasn't on the PlayStation 2.
Oh, wasn't it? I see
No,
Dark
it was,
Souls opening cinematic, and it's PlayStation 2. Oh, maybe it's not. I think it's just this guy's intro.
oh, okay.
Yeah. Saw the PlayStation 2 boot sequence.
But the opening cinematographic to Dark Souls has some real interesting ideas of the dichotomy of opposites both being the same and needed, but being different at the same time.
Okay.
And the Dark Souls franchise as a whole is very much the cycles of what that world goes through. And what's interesting is if you look at human history,
In the age
you
of
can tell that there's
ancients.
patterns. And the more zoomed into a society you get, the more and more patterns you get to see over the years.
So where do you think these patterns come from? Where do they originate from?
Honestly, I can't tell you that beyond just social interactions from the very beginning, how we've always learned to interact with one another up until the online age. The online age really messed with how people interact with one another.
Right. And so the
Far
online
more
age
than
is still recent, very recent. If we look at it on like a clock, treat it like a clock. It
yeah, and
probably is within like the last, I don't know, 10, 20 seconds.
and it's compared to the previous ages where we had oral traditions, where nothing was written down, where we then started painting things in cave walls and started giving those sigils meanings, and then we started carving those things into stone.
Right.
It the digital age has affected humanity faster and scarier than any of our other earlier ages.
Well, it's
Our
because we're
Bronze Age.
globally connected. It's
Well,
so those ideas spread. You know, like what is it? Nitroglycerin. It's like it's everywhere. You light it, and
Exactly.
it goes off. It catches fire to everything else that's combustible, and it just goes.
well,
And
to bring it
it's
back to the to what you guys said about it being
I'm
like
gonna
a
grab a
clock.
drink and use the restroom while you guys touch on this point. So
Okay.
okay,
Well, to bring it back to it, I mean, we really are the first generation that has grown up connected to the World Wide Web. You
I
know,
would say we're the first generation hybrid between pre-connection and connection.
I mean,
Because I remember back before 1999, people didn't have cell phones. They weren't
true.
everywhere.
Well, they did. They were just bricks.
Oh no, they weren't everywhere because
Right.
only the rich or the well-to-do, and as the technology became cheaper and easier to produce because we found easier and cheaper ways to produce them, then it became more widespread. But it was scary how fast technology has just spread
Yeah.
compared to all the previous ages. I mean, the Bronze Age lasted for several hundred years. Into the Iron Age, that lasted for a couple hundred years. Into all those other ages, because how limited technology and learning was and how limited the information was, it was slow to spread. Now we no longer have to worry about space and time. We can just shout into the abyss, and next thing you know, some person 500 miles can see what you said and say, I want to say the same thing, but slightly different. Or I don't like that. I'm going to say what I want to say.
Right.
But it
No,
comes down to these social interactions becoming just larger bubbles of our social interaction bubbles that we had when it was physical. But because we
well,
have no way to equate the words to a person, to a face, we can't attach our own emotional context to that person. And therefore, when somebody goes against what we think, they're attacking our emotions, they're attacking our words, and we feel so much more defensive about that because those
right.
are our emotions that we think.
So
What,
my point, though. Oh, go ahead.
yeah,
Sorry.
well, I was just going to ask, what point of this video here, I have it pulled up, is there like a short little, it's 3 minutes and 52 seconds, but what can I touch on
You
it?
don't need to watch the full thing. What
Yeah,
you need to really watch is just up until it goes into the prison cell hallway.
okay. So I see
Where it's
looks
talking
like
about
a
Gwen,
skeleton
Nito.
holding, has his
Yeah.
hand open with some fire.
Okay, so that's Nito the Dark Lord, or not Dark Lord. That's Nito the first of month's death. He's the first to essentially die, therefore he gained control over death
So it looks like it might
in
be
some
towards the
way.
end of the video, it looks like. I see a huge building.
And only dark
That's Anne Orlando.
will remain.
Is that too far? Or
Okay, so
I see
essentially
somebody
what
holding
this
out their
is,
hands with light shining.
yeah, so essentially what this is saying, as at the beginning of the cinematographic up until the hallway scene, is at the beginning there was nothing but ashen gray fog lands filled with giant trees and dragons. Then all of a sudden fire showed up, and we was able to, from that fire showing up, learn the difference between hot and cold, light and dark, and all this power and powerless, because when these beings found this fire, they also found power within the fire, and they took that power and became gods.
Ah, I like that.
Yeah. And one of the gods, fearing the age of fire coming to an end, decided to take measures into circumventing that cycle, but in doing so, lock the world within a punishing cycle of death and decay and life flourishing
Okay, I see a
without
dragon rearing
giving it a
its head
chance to
back.
move on.
I have the video muted, so you're kind of just narrating it, but I think you did an amazing job. So,
Well, I have spent an ungodly amount of time playing the Dark Souls series, so
okay,
it's one of those franchises that I'm very much passionate about, because
right.
the ideas behind the story is fantastic, regardless of the shortcomings of the actual game itself.
Okay.
There are some story parts that are on the weaker side, but the idea that Miyazaki and his team came up with really demonstrates cycles and how easy it is to get trapped in one, even if you think you're going against the cycle. And a lot of these online people think they're going against the buck, end up just creating a whole nother tidal wave of their own level of bullshit. So they get stuck in their own cycle when they're trying to escape from a cycle.
I like that.
I
That's
sense
a
a Dark
good.
Souls playthrough in Kai's future.
Yeah, I don't know. Maybe I've heard so much about it, Dark Souls and Bloodborne, but I've never got into them. But I hear they're extremely tough. I think Bloodborne in particular is really, really tough.
I would say Sekiro Shadows Die Twice is the hardest of the From Software modern titles,
Hmm.
because
Okay.
you have to learn how to play perfect parry. You have to learn to play in a specific way. While
Right.
the Dark Souls franchise yes, it's hard if you don't know what you're doing.
Oh, okay.
But once you get a feel for the game, because the game is in its own way fair, it teaches you all that you need to know, but expects you to get good and to play the game in a way that feels right for you.
You heard
That
it here,
makes
y'all.
sense. I like
Get
that.
good, scrub.
I mean, okay, Dark Souls 1, for all its lauded difficulty, is by far the easiest out of the entire series. And it has a PC port called Prepare to Die.
Oh, okay.
I think of a YouTuber called Seth Roven said it best. Its PC port's called Prepare to Die. Come on now. Its difficulty has been placed on such a pedestal of social engineering that just by hearing the name Dark Souls, you automatically know that this is a hard game and you're going to have a hard time with it.
Yes. Every time I've heard about
That's
it, it's been very, very tough.
Well, that's
very,
that social conditioning that
right.
everyone has been put through. But if you actually take a look through at the game itself, it teaches you everything that you need to know in a reasonable way, and it doesn't throw just random bullshit at you until it thinks you can actually handle the random bullshit.
It's a good design there.
Now, like I said, there are issues with the Souls series as a whole. Dark Souls 2 being one, and Lost Izalith, well, essentially the whole latter half of Dark Souls 1. There's a reason this whole thing is complicated, but let's get back to the social stuff.
Yeah, let's tie it up
Instead of
here because
video
we've got
Yeah.
8 minutes to wrap it up. We do an hour on the podcast, and then I do an hour of a game. But we got 8 minutes to wrap it up, so let's wrap it up, Nick, on your point, and then let's kind of give some brief points, I guess.
Yeah, my thing with this interacting on the internet, it does feel very different from how we've always learned how to interact with them. And it is, because we no longer have that physical connection.
Well, how
But
different is it
thing-
from a phone call or a video call?
With the video call,
depends.
you have that visual of the person.
You
which
have
does
verbal
help.
cues.
Right.
We are very visual.
And nonverbal cues. Those are very important to conversation.
Oh yes.
Tone
I
of
think
voice.
that's how emojis are important for that very reason. To help
Yeah.
memes.
God.
Yes.
Memes as well.
Memes are so great.
Oh my
Well,
gosh, yes.
relatability, I
They're
think.
modern day hieroglyphics, and I love them.
Yeah.
I agree. And I feel like that ties into it as well. You need that visual stimuli to get your, to know what the intent of whatever message it was that you're reading or sending,
Right.
right?
Indeed. Yes. So essentially, we have similarities. I'm using this this articles. Who are the authors of this? I need to post the articles in the video, which I'll do. But anyways, we have similarities between the online and offline selves, but they're not the same person due to choice of not fully sharing oneself online. Online, we curate our image to be the best version of ourselves, but this control comes at the cost of our online self differing from our offline self. And then again, we can tie that into the introversion and extroversion. Extroverted people
Right.
are more likely to really portray their real selves, whereas introverted are more likely to show a version of themselves that they want others curate our image. They want others to, like Instagram, touched up photos and shit like that. You know what I mean?
Right.
So, alrighty.
All right. So I guess, I only have one last bullet point here, so I'll try to do this very briefly in the last 5 minutes that we have here.
Sure.
But, last week, I spoke about how private of a person I am in real life. And this ties back into the introvert versus extrovert thing as well. And like I said, that's 100% true. I'm quiet. I don't like being around people I don't know. But that's not always the case online. I'm generally a little more sociable. Sometimes you could even use the word gregarious, if we're talking about doing this, here I am putting myself out there, talking
Right.
to a group of people. But those insecurities don't matter much online, at least to me. I mean, I still keep my private life private. That's not saying I don't have insecurities. I damn sure do. But
Right.
I'm way more comfortable in my own skin, speaking in situations like these, rather than if I were, in the same group, in the same room.
I would have to
Oh,
agree
It's
yeah.
with
weird.
that.
You could not have gotten me to say anything that I said today to try to put me up on a podium. No.
Really? I would have to agree. You know, there's
No, I mean
comfort
it's
in
weird.
giving these
Yes.
messages online as opposed to like public speaking or speaking in a group setting. Definitely.
And I feel like that's why this podcast particularly is important. And I mean the whole series, not just tonight, the whole thing, is that we are allowing ourselves to be a little bit more open and a little more sociable and get those very real insecurities the fuck out of the way so we can act like normal people and talk about shit that
Right.
needs to be talked about.
Well, I
and
also
try to
think
do a
it's very
deep dive.
relatable. It's relatable to a
it's-
lot of other demographics as well. So that was my thing,
Almost like
relatability.
therapy.
Yes,
there in
I'd say so as
itself,
well.
You said that just then. We're on this podcast to speak like our true selves,
Right.
to stay away from the social insecurities that we have if we would be in person.
Yeah,
It's so great. The social interaction is such a great tool, but at the same time scary. Oh,
super scary.
Well,
It's
I
so
feel like we could all
intimidating,
sit in a room
especially-
and talk about this. Would you agree?
Well, now
yeah.
I think we can.
Yeah,
But
okay.
if we hadn't met before,
Yeah.
like you two haven't before tonight, but if we haven't met before, I would have a very hard time just even
Talking.
breaking the ice.
Right.
yeah.
Well, I think that we got a couple of minutes here, so I think the discourse is we don't really whatever there is. We got a lot of ideas for another podcast, and also hopefully it's all right that I've used the name Nick. Hopefully.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfectly fine.
Okay. Well, that is also my name, so we share the same name. I don't know if Manny told you or not, but that is also my name. So
I don't think I did I?
No, I think you've only referred to him with his
Kai.
Yeah.
Hi, yeah.
Yeah, well, my name is also Nick. So yeah. Well, I'd like to have you on again.
Of
So
course, this was
I think Manic, you
Great,
said
willing to
the
come back.
15th
Great
you're
time.
not going to be available. So
yeah, next Friday
Okay.
I will be out of town. But yes, the week after that, hang on. What day will that be? Because I don't want it to conflict with Christmas. The 22nd. Yes,
Yes.
I can do the 22nd.
okay. Yeah.
So I should be free 2 weeks from tonight.
All right. Well, sounds good. So
All
I'm
right.
gonna go ahead and get over to my hour of gameplay here, but I'll upload this
All
video.
right.
Make sure you share it with Nick. And
Absolutely.
Nick, nice to meet you, man. And really
Nice to
good
meet you
points.
as well.
Alrighty. Chat with you
Alrighty.
again soon.
Have a good night.
You as well.
All right,
Alrighty.
people.
All right, guys.
Take it easy.
See ya.
You too.
Alrighty. So that was a really good podcast tonight, and we're gonna finish it with a demo. This is Manic. It was very good, very good. I enjoyed it quite a bit. We'll have to do this again when you're available. Very good. But anyhow, we got the Dreamcast, Sega Dreamcast magazine. This is the UK's Dreamcast magazine. And Ferrari F355, I'm going to play this. So, I have the demo, and I'm going to play the demo. So, But this magazine features Dreamcast, of course, and it is the Dreamcast magazine. But some other images of Shenmue, some beta images, it looks like. But I am going to try out Ferrari F355 Challenge. It's a racing game. But this is the Dreamcast magazine, the whole magazine. Alright, so what I need to do is I need to turn down the volume just a tad here, because I believe this is going to be high. Let me also look at these filters. Turn that compressor off. Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and pull up the game here. We got about an hour, just under an hour. Also, I did some different settings on my microphone. I'm going to have to check this out, see what it sounds like, but anyways, this is the whole magazine here. But Ferrari F355 is the demo I'm going to play, so go ahead and pull that up. I think it I think I'll run this in a display, I think. I'm not quite sure. Let me see. Yes, I think so. Alright, so Ferrari 355, if it works. So this is a demo. And it looks like it works. F355 Challenge. This is the demo from the magazine I was just showing. I wanted to use my steering wheel. I have a steering wheel, paddles and all that, but I wanted to set it up, but I'll do that next week. Maybe some Need for Speed Heat. But anyways, this is Ferrari F355. I think Yu Suzuki was involved in this. Alright. Cool. Try it out. So this is the demo. 2 laps only you're allowed on the demo. So, looks like you have your automatic. So, yes, I should have used my steering wheel tonight, dang it. It's alright. I didn't feel like getting it all set up with the X360E, but next time, maybe.
Your selection.
So, I'm gonna just try automatic. Try to drive along the red line. Okay.
Left curve.
So, how do I get, I guess it's a first person only?
Speed up. Whoops.
Yes. I'm trying to see if I can switch the view around. So that's ABS. So it doesn't look like you can. So you're gonna have to
Training start.
use first person only. So I think Yu Suzuki was involved in this.
Left curve.
Alright, I'm gonna divert from the red line and just go for it. So this is a Ferrari.
Left curve.
I don't know what model Ferrari this is. F355?
Let's drive as well on the next lap. Time
So
extension.
we're running
Final lap.
a 6-speed. It is a Ferrari. So this looks pretty good for a Sega Dreamcast game.
Left curve.
Oh man, spinning out there.
Congratulations.
So is that an F355? It must be.
Your next challenge. Game over.
Alright, well there's another track, so I'll try that out. So yes, you're only allowed 2 laps. So I tried the Motegi track and tried the Suzuka track. I freaking should have put up my steering wheel tonight, dang it. So, you can participate, there's a typo there, in a real race and try out your techniques. Let's do that.
Your selection.
Race start.
There we go, baby. Need for speed. Okay, so it does have quite realistic effects in the sliding and whatnot, but I'm not quite seeing what the brake is. But hey, I gotta say, this is not bad. Some of the reviews said that the sensation of speed was not that great. I would say that's somewhat true. But what I was really wanting to do was set up, because I have a Ferrari steering wheel, the Thrustmaster. So it would have been great to play with this. The only thing is I would have to use a program called X360E to convert the controls from that into the controls for this, which I can do. But I think that next Friday, I'll probably just do some racing games. This, which is a demo. Try this again. And also some Need for Speed Heat. Now let me retry this. I don't really know what all the controls are, so I'm just kind of having to finagle it here.
Race start.
Graphics look really nice for Dreamcast game. So, I'm gonna really try to not hit other vehicles here. What is my brake? I'm not quite sure, but I'll try to figure it out. So there are sliding effects, a little bit of realism.
Time extension.
Come on, Ferrari! Get off the grass! Come in last, yeah!
Time extension.
So I'm in position 8. I don't know what my brake is, so I'm just kind of trying to let off the throttle. What is my brake? Okay, I think it's L.
Please start.
L trigger. A lot better than I thought this game was going to be. Yeah, so it looks like it's L. How's it going, Mike? Podcast is over, but I'm playing Ferrari F355. I was showing the magazine. So this is what I'm playing right here. It's the demo, Ferrari F355 Challenge. So, go ahead and start this back up. The podcast went well. I'm going to post a video of it after the stream, which is in about 45 minutes. Also, how does my microphone sound? I put some filters in, configured my microphone. Does this sound better or worse? You think it sounds a little bit better? Okay, cool. But anyways, this is a demo. I wanted to use my steering wheel, I kept on saying, keep saying, but I just didn't. It takes so long to set that damn thing up. And also I would have to do more because I would have to use X360E. But this is the Sega Dreamcast. Pretty good graphics for the Dreamcast. Yeah, I mean, for Dreamcast, it does look great, doesn't it? Freaking Dreamcast. It looks really good.
Ferrari F355 Challenge.
Alright, I'll go ahead and try this again. But yeah, man, the podcast went really nice. So yeah, the demo, you get 2 laps. You can use your steering wheel. It's cool. Alright. So you have training, driving, and race. So driving is drive the circuit without any other cars and brush up on your skills. There will be no guidance. Alright. Try that.
Your selection.
Driving start. 3, 2,
There we go.
1, go!
Also, it's first person only.
That will bring back memories of happy family music back in the 80s. Best music to listen to in the car, right? It's great, even better when you have a beautiful blonde sitting next to you, or even when you're driving by yourself, man. This is great for a ride.
So, it has pretty realistic effects in terms of like sliding.
Time extension.
Feels nice. Yeah, it does. It's pretty solid. Like you spin out when you get on the grass.
Time extension. Final lap.
Final lap.
Time extension.
Feels really nice, actually. But you see, you get in the grass and it slows you down. It's very realistic for a Dreamcast game.
Congratulations.
Cool. Not a bad game.
Game over.
It's a pretty cool demo. Alright, I got about 40 minutes. Let me see what else I have that I can throw on here. So, I think that game would work quite nicely with the steering wheel. You would just have to convert the controls into gamepad controls, and you can do that through X360E. X360CE, I think. It seems that Dead or Alive 2, a lot of people like.
絶対に勝つ
I say that because on the video, like in the analytics, a lot of people skip to this part of the video. Alright, let's give it a go here. So I adjusted a lot of video settings, audio settings. From what I can see, it's probably better. So, alright, we'll do Kasumi, my girl. She's my favorite.
よろしくね誰にも邪魔はさせない
Get ready, fight!
Gotcha.
Get ready, fight!
So, I really like this game. This is my first experience with Dead or Alive 2.
KO!
Got her.
Winner!
私の戦いは終わりじゃない
そこか
戦いたくない私を行かせて聞いてくださいはやぶささん
颯への誓いお前は死なせん行かせるわけにはいかんそして忍びの
Custom music.
道は無極厳しいものと知れ
I think the custom music sounds better. Gotcha.
Winner!
消え行かなければならないの許して
Yeah, I've been looking to get back underneath for speed. Billy Jones had to play for speed. Nice one, John Lee, but you will not prevail. Ah, maybe you will. Oh, I guess you will.
You lose.
Damn.
俺を裏切ったことは一度もない。
私行かなくちゃ。
Come on, girl. Get him. It is your destiny. God dang it.
You lose.
考えるんじゃない。感じるんだ。
私行かなく
Come on, girl. Holy crap!
これが俺とお前の差だ。
I will defeat you gently. Come on, girl. Alright, you got him. I really like Kasumi. She's my favorite.
あなたはいつもヒロインだった。
Get ready, fight!
So Ayan is Kasumi's nemesis. But likewise for Ayan. Oh, nice one. Alright, gotcha. This is the most, this scene right here on my YouTube analytics is the most replayed scene. In fact, if this video is on a YouTube video, people will skip to this and watch it like 90 to 95% of viewership is not just this game, but this specific scene with Kasumi and her brother Ain. People skip right to it. So they really like this scene. Alright, I got about a half an hour, just over a half an hour left. I think what I'll do is about another 25 minutes of gameplay, and then about 5 minutes to wind it out. Definitely gonna do this scene.
俺を。
だって兄さんじゃ。
Get ready, fight!
And he's a powerhouse. He hits like a freaking train. Come on, girl!
KO! You lose!
いいバイブレーションだ。行くぞ。
Ah,
なぜなの？
come on, girl.
Get ready, fight!
Come on. There you go.
私
全ては
So this is Tingo, the Japanese Santa Claus.
Get ready, fight!
He can be quite difficult. I suppose it depends on the player and the character. Oh, he caught my spin! He caught my spin. Oh, he got me. Freaking throw move.
You lose!
私この戦いには
Come on,
絶
girl.
対に勝つ
Get ready, fight!
If he does that wind move, he tends to continue it. Custom music for this boss stage. Custom music. This is a modified Dreamcast disc.
Get ready, fight!
Come on, girl, you got him this time. Third time's a charm. That's just freaking cheap.
You lose!
私行かなくてこの戦いには絶対に勝つ
Get ready, fight!
Alright, I got you this time. There you go, girl. Quit fucking around and get him. What the heck?
You lose!
この戦いには絶対に勝つ
Get ready, fight!
Come on, Kasumi. Dude, he is wrecking me. If you get it, I don't think you will, but if you do... Ah, shit. I was hoping she would get it with a sliver of
You lose!
この戦いには
Come on, Kasumi.
絶対に勝つ
Get ready, fight!
Come on. sue me. Dude, what the fuck? This guy is so cheap.
この戦いには絶対に勝つ
Get ready, fight!
Sue me. I can't do this. This guy is so cheap. He's set in this mode here where it's just going to be cheap as hell. Once he gets into that mode, he stays in that mode. Alright, we'll do end.
Get ready, fight!
So at least Ann is extremely powerful. He's like the freaking Terminator of the T-800. Gotcha.
Winner!
いい戦いだった。お前はまさか。
Get ready, fight!
Get you out that window. There you go.
出せる。
So Hayabusa does not stand a chance against Aim. That's a perfect. He ran right into that.
Winner!
So here's a taunt from the Tengu. And Ian is also trying to remember who he is. Alright, Ian, come on. I think. Oh shit. He's such a powerhouse. It's like a freaking tank. Ah, she's got you almost. And she did get you. No, it's not.
You lose!
I want to look at his move list. Start? How the frick do I exit this? Okay, I'll just restart the damn game. Alright, I've got about 20 minutes remaining, so I'm going to do another 10 or so minutes of gameplay, and then about 5 minutes or so to wind down. I want to see what Ian's move list is. I'm going to go into sparring and choose aim. So there are 2 hidden players. I'll have to do a full playthrough of this game one night, where I complete all the players and unlock the 2 hidden players. Not tonight, but one of these nights. So I want to see what his moves list is. Alright, let's have her... She's standing, let's have her attack. I'm gonna put comm level... 5. Okay, comm level 5 is maybe a little bit too much. Let's put her down to level 3. So, there's a lot of needing to parry. Alright, let's take her comm level down to level 1. All right, we'll do a little bit of tag team here. Kasumi and Hayabusa versus Zack and Leon.
Ready? Fight!
I forget how to switch characters, but this is essentially a tag team, so you can switch characters during the match. But I forget what the command is to do that. Let's see if I can figure it out. If she dies or is knocked out, Hayabusa, there he comes.
KO. Winner.
Ah, we got. We're versus Helena and Genfu. Hayabusa Kasumi. Got him. Helena, let's go. So you can also do a tag team thing where you hit the. There's a certain control. I don't know what it is, but Kasumi can jump in at the same time that Hayabusa is doing a move, and it's like a freaking tag team, like freaking wrestling. It's pretty cool. So she's probably gonna. All right, Kasumi, you're gonna jump in. Winner!
Winner!
Alright, now Kasumi,
Ready?
Kasumi and Hayabusa versus Jan Lee and Leifink. See, there's that little, Hayabusa, it's up to you now. I really need to work on that parrying thing.
Winner!
Winner! I love how they both have the, I got 10 minutes left, so I'm gonna wind down. Anyways, I love how they freaking have the same exit there. Pretty cool. But anyways, next week, it's just gonna be me, so I'm planning to do some racing games. Need for Speed Heat and some other racing games. So it'll just be a video game night. But anyway, let me see if I can find me a appropriate, no copyright-free video. But next Friday, I am planning on doing racing games the entire night. So, well, for 2 hours rather. But I was thinking about hooking up my PlayStation 4 and doing some Need for Speed Heat with the steering wheel. And another racing game, an old school like Dreamcast or something like that. And I'll use X360E to convert the controller controls into so it'll use my steering wheel. So but once this ends here, I'm going to upload it to YouTube, and it was pretty good tonight. We had a third person. It was not just Manic and I, but it was also, there was a third person that joined, and it was pretty cool. They are quite intellectual, quite academic, and they made some very good points, and it was really good. But I think that not next week, but the week after, they will join again. But anyways, you'll see them if you do see the YouTube. You'll see them on there. But I was really impressed. I have to say, I was quite impressed with their the way that they handled themselves, the way that they articulated things. It was quite impressive. Well, I was impressed. Me being an academic person, you know, I found it quite nice. But I'm gonna roll a couple of copyright-free things here, and drinking too much. Yeah, that's me. Well, on Friday night it is, anyway.
Stop at the light, stop taking advice, still rolling the dice. She don't act too nice, she know what she likes. Wasted youth, why you so rude? Save me some, wanna take it too. Still not adding up, think I had enough. Kiss another girl, fighting with my ex. I don't even want go and patch it up. All my past nights keep on catching up.
Taking way too much, kissing anyone. Anything to feel something, anything to not. Get you something special, baby, take it off. Anything to feel something, anything to not. I know. I'm not coming down tonight. I know. I'm not coming down tonight.
I know. Wanna see me high hopes, wanna see you with the lights off. I can't drive, no. Should've left on a high note. I've been going psycho. Rolling Stones, took X and O's. Did way too much, and I stay too long. Can't back out of this, blacked out again. She Italian, I'm extravagant. I got values, but she don't value them. Tapped out again.
Taking way too much, kissing anyone. Anything to feel something, anything to not. Get you something special, baby, take it off. Anything to feel something, anything to not. I know. I'm not coming down tonight. I know. I'm not coming down tonight.
Thank you, Notice. Very good song.
sounding so old. So much coke can make your nose blow. Fuck, I know you sick of all your old hoes, but you still want someone to grow old. Well, I'm a junkie, I know you don't love me. Searching for something, it's still in my bloodstream. See all the rich kids, they think they above me. Said I was dusty, now I gotta blush it. Life goes on and on and on. All my friends sell drugs, they nonchalant. I like my bitches with some edge, they avant-garde. She a pop star phenomenon, and it goes on.
All my friends make art and sell down. All my friends make art and sell down.
You wanna know the craziest thing?
All my friends, all my friends, all my friends make art and sell down.
Yeah.
All my friends make art and sell down. All my friends make art and sell down. All my friends, all my friends.
How could you be so Dr. Evil? They tried to take my soul and then I lost my ego. Marbelows with some Casamigos. You know that pussy water on Pellegrino. Cigarette friends, they never end. Old ass stories, how shit was better then. I like them Lebanese with a little melanin. Coke head, degens, just a bunch of skeletons. Drug dealers. All my friends look too familiar. How you take pills, you don't drink hard liquor. All night sinner, MJ Thriller. No, I'm still bitter, RP Mac Miller.
All my friends make art and sell down. All my friends make art and sell down. All my friends, all my friends.
Hopefully Tom Green won't give me a copyright strike. But this is an amazing song, and I'm going to roll it out with this. This is a very good song, and hopefully you like it.
Hey everybody, Happy New Year. Tom Green here, and just wanted to say, have an amazing New Year's Eve tonight. Be safe, but have fun. And 2023 is going to be amazing. I wanna thank you all
2024.
for being here.
I thank you for coming in, and
2023.
next week it's going to be just
Song
me,
that I
baby.
wrote.
We'll do some racing games. Need for Speed, another.
Not a silly song though.
Use the steering wheel.
Kind
Set
of,
it up where you can see my feet on the pedals.
How I feel about moving back home from Los Angeles. Don't last forever, except in our minds. Someday I will return. Flipped everything upside down just to watch it burn. You know me from back in the day. Ain't it funny how everything can change? And I went down to the old covered bridge and jumped into the river, how we used to do. Got swept away, never seen you since. Guess I lived my life how I was supposed to do. And you know me from back in the day. Ain't it funny how everything can change? And you know me from back in the day. Ain't it funny how everything can change?
All right. I'll say thank you, and I'll see you next Friday. So,
500 miles to New Mexico.
hi, have a good night.
500 more, and I'm coming home. Took a quick trip up to Old Chaco.